Hi, I'm Nick and this is the TbT channel. Welcome to today's video. Now, today we're going to be talking about shooting bags, and we're going to look at shooting bags and we're going to fill a couple of shooting bags. A couple of weeks ago I did a give it a rest video about the different ways of resting and supporting your gun when you're shooting it. In fact, I might even call this one give it a rest again or something, I don't know. We'll see. And I would have showed you then I had one of these that over the years had split. The fabric had just given out. Now, I'm not blaming the bag for that because I tend to leave them outside in the sun and it just deteriorates the material. But it's not a problem. And I have this little bag as well, which I may have shown you. This is my squeeze bag. So when using a bipod, I can put this under the butt of the gun, and for very accurate long range shooting off a bench, if I want to raise the back of the gun, drop the point of aim, I can just squeeze that bag a small amount or let it out a small amount, and it just makes very fine differences to the point of aim. So that's my dinosaur squeeze bag. But today I received in the post another set of these. Now these if you're shooting off a bench, these are the best thing. You can't carry them around with you. You wouldn't lug these around the fields or the woods. But if you're shooting off a bench, these are absolutely fantastic. They're not very expensive. These were 15 quid for the pair, posted, delivered. And you get a little one to put at the back and a big one to put at the front. And the biggest question that's asked on the internet about these is, what should you fill them with? Now, I'm going to show you what I fill them with, but there is no right and wrong answer. Well, there is, actually. That's a silly thing to say. Don't fill it with dolphins. That'd just be inconvenient. Water is going to fall out of it. In fact, there's a large list of things. There is definitely a large list of things you shouldn't fill them with. Oh, crikey, me and my big mouth. Speaking of which, I went round Sean's this morning to see him, and he's got a couple of these, because I was going to say, oh, you got any of these? He'd already got a set. And he'd filled them. Well, they're now filled with the stuffing you get in soft toys. You know, the ploofy stuff, that stuff. He's filled it with those. And it's nice and soft and nice and light, and that suits him perfectly. Initially, he'd filled them with sand. Now, you'd think sand, that's a good idea, because that's going to give you good weight, it's mouldable, it's going to be rock steady, all that kind of stuff. But the problem is it escapes through all of the seams. So he discovered quite quickly that was a bad thing. Another one to add on to the list of things not to fill your bags with. So we're not going to use sand, although sand would be ideal because I don't carry mine around. They stay on the shooting bench. So I want something heavy. A lot of people say kitty litter. Take the lumps out first, obviously. But for me, again, kitty litter wouldn't work. It's too light for a start. I want weight there. I want it to be a sturdy thing. I don't want it to blow away in the wind. And also, kitty litter is going to absorb moisture from the air, if not when it rains and just lands on your bag, which it does with mine because they're on my shooting bench most of the time. So kitty litter is out. So I am going to use rice. Now, you can use any kind of rice, I'm guessing, but I would suggest you don't use that stuff, you know, the microwavable one. Don't use that. Try and find... Can you hear that? We've got the French Air Force doing aerobatics above us at the moment. There's a training school for pilots at Cognac, and they train in turboprop aircraft over the countryside. So you can sit out here and watch them have dogfights and doing loopity-loops and all that stuff. It's quite cool. So I just got the cheapest rice I could find. It's perfumed. I didn't notice that till I got home. Scented long grain rice. Pudding rice would be quite a good one though, I think. You know, the really short stuff. Thinking about it now, pudding rice would be good because that's more like balls. My wife makes weighted blankets for autistic kids. Bit of weight on them if they're wigging out. Bit of weight on them sometimes comforts and calms them down. And she had these plastic, food grade plastic beads. They were awesome as well, but we've got none of them at the moment. So I'm going to use this rice. I've got 3 bags because I don't know how much I'm going to need. Now, very important point here. Do not use scissors without asking an adult first. especially if your wife's got sewing machines, because you'll find you get in trouble using whatever scissors you do use. So what we're going to do is fill these up. Not very exciting, is it? I'm going to shoot with it in a bit. I'm going to put it on the bench. We're going to find a gun to shoot. What gun should I shoot with? I don't know at the moment. As I'm talking to you now, I don't know. But I expect by the time this goes on YouTube's, it'll actually have in the title what gun I'm going to use. Because if I put a type of gun in there, anybody who likes that type of gun will go, oh, one of them. I don't know. I'm thinking HW30. But then again, the HW80 is actually upstairs. I've got a bit of crush on for that at the moment, again. It's funny how you go through phases, isn't it? With your air rifles. Or, I suppose not everybody does, just me. This is actually going to be very long and tedious. I'm going to skip a bit so you don't have to watch me trying to get rice into a small hole that looks suspiciously like a shiwi. I'm 2.5 bags in. I've got rice everywhere and I'm having trouble getting the rice down into these bits. What are they called? I'm thinking labia. Is that right? Something like that. I'm also beginning to think I maybe didn't bring enough rice. That's it, all 3 bags have been used. My labia are nice and plump now. So we need to seal it. You've got Velcro across the top there, not enough on its own. So you have to, got an elasticated bit there. So if we turn that over once and again, then that goes under the elastic like that. There we go, there's a bloody bit of house cleaning. The housework, maintenance, and then the back one, very similar deal. Velcro there, fold it over once, fold it over again, and then that gets tucked underneath the elastic there. Now this is the important part. Turn it over the right way, and that's it. You want that. You don't want to stuff them tight. I have found that in the past. You put too much in there, you don't get any movement. What you want is to be able to cuddle your rifle with that. Front and back, so it holds it nicely. It will mould into the shape of your rifle and give you a lovely, lovely shooting platform. Speaking of which, I'm going to get round to my shooting platform and show you how to use these with a Springer. They're not labia. Labia is part of the labia. What a mistake and a maker. We'll just call them flaps. We'll avoid any problem that way. Right, so here we are with my bag on my shooting bench. The gun I've selected, one I hardly ever use, and I should do. This is an HW99, but not just any HW99. This is a Coenwulf HW99, one of 20 made that we did back in 2020. They all have custom stocks. This one's more custom than most because it's a CS500 that I specifically asked to be stippled rather than checkered. I really love the stippling and I love the CS500. This is, it's got all the bits. It's got the adjustable bits, the rose caps, blah, blah, blah. But Andy, our fitter, who does the triggers, he's done the trigger on this. He also finished the stock for me. So the stock finish is excellent. There's double lines all around the, it's beautiful. And it's in 2.0 caliber. And, oh, and it's got TbT stuff inside of it, which is why it's got a black and gold sticker. Now, you won't have seen one of those before unless you got one of these, because they only went on these. And it's on open sights, because I've been using it with open sights. So that's what we're going to use to demonstrate the use of my flap wagon. No, the shooting bags. So this is using both of them together. Okay, now if this were a PCP, this is how you'd use it. You've got your gun fully supported, absolutely rock solid. You can look through your scope, check it's on the thing, you can fire it, the gun won't move, and then you can zero your scope to the pellet hole. It is brilliant for doing that, but it won't work with the Springer. Springers recoil, as we know, and the recoil happens while the pellet is inside of the gun. So I don't use the back one when I'm using a Springer, only if I'm zeroing or accuracy testing a PCP. So the way you would do it, I prefer. Now there's another argument: do you have it that way round, or do you have it the other way round? That's personal choice. I don't think it really actually matters, because I don't use the bag as such. What I'm going to do is put my hand onto the bag, and then I'm going to use it for support. So you'll see there's a hole under here, the stock screw hole. My pointed finger is going to go there, because I want my hand to be in exactly the same position every time. Now I can't shoot this with my glasses on. So, comme ça. Let's have a couple of shots with it. I've got a football down the garden at about 50 metres. It's a football, you know. I don't even know if I've zeroed these open sights, but we shall see. Finger into the same place, safety off. That's a nice firing cycle. I do like a 99. I've got two of these. This one's not been shot since I think the year before last. A fella was going to buy this one off me and some disaster befell. I was already in the UK. I was going to one of the shooting bashes and some disaster befell, so he couldn't make it, so he didn't buy it. So this has been in its box ever since, oiled and put in its box. Shame really, because if I do sell one, it'd be the one in the CS700 stock, because I prefer this one. That trigger is absolutely amazing. I've got to say, Andy does a brilliant job on the trigger. I've had a few people, I did a video about Andy fitting kits for you and doing tuning work on triggers for you. I've had several people contact us since, so thanks for that. He's very much appreciative of all of your contact, and for the ones who've had the stuff done, the nice things you're saying about him now. He's one of those guys that on a couple of forums he's really well known and really well respected, but forums aren't a thing anymore. It's more Facebooks now and stuff like that, and YouTube's even. Have you been on YouTube? That's good. Hello Gina G, what are you doing down there? It's one of me chickens come to see if I'm firing chicken pellets down the garden. Well, I'm not. So that's it. That's what these bags are for. If you've got a PCP, use both. If you've got a Springer, I find it best just to use one, but just using it as something comfortable to rest your leading hand on. And I'm going to continue shooting this for a while. You don't have to watch me. You can bugger off. Like, subscribe, hit notifications. Thank you so much for watching. It does mean a lot. I do really, really appreciate you all watching and leaving comments. Gives me something to do. I enjoy having a chat with some of you, you know. And I'll catch you all next time. Safety catch. I'll leave that bit in though. Goodbye.